Hello there. Today I'm going to review Crimson Dawn Destiny, which is the Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker green bladed lightsaber. I got this as part of their May the 4th sale. Thought I was done buying lightsabers, but at least for a little while, but they came up with their May 4th sale. Spend $400, get a free mystery box. I just did that video a little while ago reviewing the Eclipse that I got, but now I want to go to the main affair. So this has always been my favorite lightsaber growing up. I always loved Luke's lightsaber, not just because you had the thin neck and this grip section, the little switch box, the faucet pommel. All of these features are just, I love that. I actually had a Hasbro version growing up. It was just basically a flashlight that you turned it on, it made a little bit of sound, and that was it. And it had green tubing, but I always liked that. So this was always my favorite saber. I have not gotten this for myself because I like to customize my lightsabers a little bit too much. And so getting a replica, I feel like there's only a little bit of customization that you really should do. But of course I got this as Proffie Neopixel. My son didn't have a Neopixel yet. All of his sabers are base lit. Got it set to green. And it is a 36-inch blade. I did just recently order a 7/8 inch outer diameter, so it'll be a little thinner than this, and 33 inches because one of the downsides to this saber is that because of the thin neck and the shallow depth, the Neopixel blade is just very, very heavy. So when you swing this around, you have to hold it here. Because if you hold it down below here, it's likely to bend here or here, especially if you're going to do some heavy dueling, which I do not recommend with this saber. This is a showpiece. It's good for some spinning, again, if you're holding it right here, but I do not recommend dueling with this. And in addition to the thin neck, let me take out the blade and show you another reason why I don't recommend that. So you'll notice that the depth of the blade is very short on this. It only goes down about that much. Only about that much blade goes in. So it's very, very shallow depth. Luckily though, it does have 4 retention screws all along the top here. And that does a pretty good job of holding that in. There's a slight wobble. One way that I fix that is to, I don't think you'll be able to see this too well, but I've wrapped this in a couple of windings of Scotch tape. And what that does is it makes it fit in here just a little bit more snugly. And then as you tighten the screws, it helps hold that. One thing that I recommend when you tighten this up is to pick 2 of one side. So basically you'll tighten this screw up so that it presses all the way onto the inside of the emitter here. Do the same thing with this side and get it as far over here. Tighten those 2 screws up as tightly as you possibly can, and then get these other 2. As really what you're trying to do is you're trying to press the blade up against the inside of the emitter, because that will increase the amount of surface area that holds the blade versus just tightening all 4 screws all the way and just having 4 points of contact. And then of course you've got this screw right here, and that holds the pixel pins. If this was a baselit, there would be the LED housing there, and that is, that goes up about to there. Then you have your thin neck here. This piece right here does screw off. And then here is where I've done a slight modification. So you'll notice that this black piece right here, it's a little bigger. If you look up pictures of some of the Destiny on their website, it is just a little bit thinner there. In fact, there's a black thin neck that's even thinner than this part right here. So that's a weak point. What I've done to kind of solve that, just because, even though we're not going to duel with this, I don't want any accidents to happen. So I took a short piece of PVC pipe, just as thick as the width of that. I cut it in half into where it was 2 C's, and then I just clamped it on there one at a time, and I put a lot of hot glue on the inside. That way it's you know, you've got some hot glue on the inside of this that, because it's kind of spongy, should act as a shock absorber. But most importantly is that this disc here and this disc, because the PVC is at the edge, it should prevent those two discs from kind of bending either way, because the PVC is going to stop that from happening. So that should help kind of absorb and prevent the bend here. Still nothing that we can really do about the bend up here if that's possible, but as long as we're holding it at the emitter, that should be fine. And, you know, kind of shoring up this weak spot, since this is for my son, even though he's 16, he's 6 foot and he's not the most gentle. So, you know, he likes to spin stuff around, and I just wanted to give some little accident protection there. The other thing that you'll kind of notice is that this beautiful mirror finish. This is a fingerprint magnet. So, you know, I'm kind of manhandling it and everything, but every time when we're done with it, I've got a soft cloth that I just kind of wipe off there. All right, so then you've got your switch box here. That's where your switch is, right there. Now, I've put a little bit of electric tape in here to kind of build this up. There's a little bit of like a sticky residue on the inside here just to prevent this from sliding out. But I just kind of built that up so that it's not loose at all. Then you've got your faucet pommel here, and this is how you charge the saber. So right there, you've got your charge port. And it comes with it, the charger that's compatible with this. So that's perfect. You just plug it in, charge it. There is a way to access the battery, but one of the things that you have to do, and I did this when I initially got it just to swap out for a fresh battery, but there's a screw hole here, and then you drop out this pin here, just drops out, and you can see the switch all the way down the bottom there. So you take out that pin, you take out this screw, and then this entire casing right here, this entire casing can slide right off. And then there's another screw on the back, on the inside, that will unsecure the core, because the core is secured on the inside with that screw. And that way you can pull that out if you need to. I don't really think that there's ever a need to take that out unless you're going to swap the battery. So now that we've swapped out for a fresh battery, I'm going to keep it charged with the charger. I don't see any reason why we would do that. Of course, you know, you've got your speaker, your battery is in here, your switch is in here, and there's actually wires that go up the thin neck that get to your pixel pins, or in the case of a baselet, you would get that there. But this is a fantastic saber to add to really any collection, but just to have this in my house, even though this is intended for my son, you know, this is definitely, you know, saber dream come true, especially with the green, beautiful green coloration. All right. Thank you guys. Hope you enjoy.